So yesterday I was watching an episode of Moral of the Story by Stephanie Sue, and she was talking about this Chinese couple. So the husband is an actor and the wife is a host. And this is a two-part episode. So the first episode she was talking about how the wife is, I think, a narcissist or a controlling person, but at the same time hella sensitive to criticism from other people, but very comfortable criticizing other people. Anyways, so that was the first one. So I watched that and I was really intrigued by it. And then I got recommended the second episode where she talked about the things that this lady has said about her husband and how the internet was like, hey, your husband is a bad person. And then they dived deeper into it and then a picture surfaced. And this picture was the center of a little mini debate between Stephanie Sue and her husband. And then I was listening to this and I was like, wait, how would I feel about that? And then it got me thinking about what I'm about to talk to you guys about. So let's get into it. The world's a little softer right now. Let's open today's thoughts. I'm Aaliyah, and you are listening to Dayah Station. So, the picture in question. The picture in question is about the husband and his assistant. So the assistant is drinking a cup of boba. She takes a sip, hands it to the husband. The husband takes a sip, hands it back to her. That's it. That's what the picture captured. Now the debate comes. How would you feel about that? And Stephanie Sue and her husband are talking about this, and they both agree that they would not be comfortable with that it would make them uncomfortable. And as I'm listening to this, I'm like, I think I would be okay with that. For me, it's not a problem. And I had to think to myself, why is that not a problem? And it actually comes back down to how we're conditioned to see those specific situations. Because I will give you a different scenario and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. So take the same scenario of the assistant and the husband, and instead of making it a female assistant, make it a male assistant. So now, the male assistant takes a sip of his drink, passes it to the husband takes a sip, hands it back. You, as the wife, would you be uncomfortable? Most of you would definitely say, no, it's fine, it's bros, it's all good. But here's the thing. If you switch that to a female, which is in this scenario, it was a female, you would not be comfortable. Now the question is, why are you not comfortable? And it's so simple, because in your head, you're conditioned to see that woman as a potential replacement to you. But here's my thing. I'll push it a little bit further. If you are worried that drinking or sharing a drink is going to lead to cheating, why wouldn't you feel the same with the male assistant? Because think about it. Cheating doesn't have anything to do with the gender. If someone decides they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat with anybody that they deem fit or they deem, attractive or whatever. So, since we're conditioned to always see the other woman as a competition, we're always going to see that as a threat. But the thing you have to think about, especially in relationship and in the day and age that we live in today, if you're worried about the woman, you should also be worried about the men, because your partner is going to do whatever the hell they want to do. When it comes to cheating, they will cheat one way or the other. It has nothing to do with the environment or the scenario. So, to me personally, the reason why I would be fine with it is because it's just a drink. There's nothing deeper to it than you sharing a drink with someone. And for example, if it was me, if I was the husband, for example, but if it was me and my assistant handed me their drink, if I'm comfortable with my assistant, I'm gonna drink from the same cup. I don't mind, because for me, it's not anything profound. It's not too deep. It's not serious at all. It's a very innocent act. But if my partner came to me and told me, hey, I find that uncomfortable, I would have to sit down with them and ask them exactly what made you uncomfortable about this situation, because to me, it's just that. And if the fear is this would lead to something else, or this is somewhat indirect kissing, I would have to ask them, so do you feel uncomfortable when I share a drink with my family members? Do you feel uncomfortable when I share a drink with my kids? Because if you really think about it, you put in a label of something innocent in order to feel satisfied with the delusion you have in your head. I know it's a little bit too aggressive to say that in that way, but it's the reality. Because if you see a simple act of sharing as a potential threat of cheating, I think the problem is not the act itself, it's the way you're conditioned. So you have to think back to yourself and try to figure out exactly what it is that bothers you so much about that, and then work on it. Because an act as simple as sharing should not lead you to worry about whether your partner is trustworthy or not. Because at the end of the day, remember this: if your partner decides to go cheat, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to stop them. It's a decision that they made on their own accord. The thing you can do is move on from that situation. So yeah, I would definitely not be uncomfortable with a situation like that. I would be totally okay with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time, guys. Assalamu alaikum.